Well, it's back to practice on Thursday afternoon for the Indiana Fever here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I'm Scott Agness of FieldhouseFiles.com. They were back on the main court for practice, tuning up for tomorrow's game, Friday evening, right here against the Washington Mystics as they wrap up a 3-game homestand. But before practice, they added to the roster yet again. And no surprise, it came at the point guard position, the place where they have a gaping hole at the moment due to injuries. Kyra Lambert, the latest member of the Indiana Fever. She will wear number 15 and presumably here soon make her WNBA debut. She spent the entirety of her basketball career professionally playing overseas, most recently over in Greece, played several years at Duke, finished up at the University of Texas, so there's some connections there. And head coach Stephanie White also credited Breon January, who knows people everywhere, including overseas, for recommendations and using their contacts to go find and hear about and look into players that could benefit them. Because right now, right, it's slim pickings ultimately, right? You're dealing with players that are not under contract with any of the 13 teams. You're going out and signing free agents. It was Ari McDonald. Now she's out for the season. It was Odyssey Sims. Then they added more here with Kyra Lambert signed to a 7-day hardship contract going into Friday's game against the Washington Mystics. So now it's the same old thing like they've had to do several times already this season. Go find a player, get her here, then see what kind of quick study she can become and see how quickly she can integrate within the flow of things, not being disruptful, but instead maybe be an asset, give you 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need when the moment comes. Because, look, they can't turn it over as much as they did. Part of that was because of their disorganization and lacking point guard in the last several games. But a lot of it also comes down to you need some depth. Other injuries may happen. You're going to have foul trouble that you deal with. And so it was important for them to go out and support this team with getting an additional player here on a 7-day hardship contract. So now come inside, see her shoot around, and then hear from Stephanie White, along with Kyra Lambert and Kelsey Mitchell.
Get to the second half of the season, you're seeing teams a third and fourth time. So now there's like double adjusting going on. Mm-hmm. How have your girls just kind of handled everything so well in the past month in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, we keep saying it, but they're a resilient group. They understand that there's been a lot of change, not just with our teams, but some of these teams that we're facing too. There's been a lot of change. It's the nature of our league. And they've been able to be flexible, and they've been able to go with it and really just do what they're asked to do, so to speak, but also understand that this time of year, nothing's going to be perfect, right? And whether that's injury related, whether that's adjustment related, whether that's player personnel related, and they just want to play, they just want to compete, and so they've been really, really flexible in that way as well.
When you bring new players in, be it going back to Sydney, Ari, Chloe, and now Kyra, do you have sort of a template of what you give them on day one, or do you kind of have to figure out what you need and just make those on the fly?
Yeah, I think with some of them, we have an idea of the things that we'll run when they're on the floor and the things that we won't. With some of them, we're trying to figure out, right? Like we've seen Odyssey in this league, and we know what she does. Kyra's a little bit more unfamiliar, so trying to figure out the best positions to put her in. Bibby as well. I mean, we had primarily played Bibby at the 4. Now she had to play a little bit of the wing, when we didn't have numbers on the wing. So it's really trying to figure out what positions we can put them in that's best for success.
What's going in, especially with the front office and whatever it takes to go find these players because they're available?
Yeah.
And is it film study? Is it calling other coaching connections? What is
all the
above?
Like? Right. It's all the above. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that played with her, against her. Same thing with Odyssey. All 3 of our assistant coaches coached her in AU, so they have some familiarity with her. So it really is all hands on deck and trying to get the best person possible to fit the need at the time.
Had Kyra been on your radar previously? Like, has she been a name that came up earlier in this process?
No.
Yeah. So now that you've seen her play a little bit and having started a little bit, what is it about her that makes her the right fit?
Well, I think number one, her preparation. From the initial phone call that Amber and Kelly had to, our conversations. She's been watching the team. She's studying what we're doing, studying how we've played opponents on both ends, what we've done to attack, what we've done on the defensive end. Reminds me a little bit of Ari when she came in and really already kind of had some of the playbook down. Her ability to get downhill. She's got some speed and quickness as well. So all of those things are what we need and what we miss without having Ari and Sid on the floor.
You have an idea of what you want a rotation to look like in a game here? You have no point guards, always moving a different position. How much more? You just made that noise. How much more challenging or different is that now? You have to feel it out or even prepping for it?
It's really challenging because, you want to keep players as much as possible in their natural positions so that they're able to do what they do best. And oftentimes, particularly when you've got to put players in some uncomfortable positions, whether that be ball handling, now taking Sophie off the ball and putting her on the ball, whether that be Bibby, a certain matchup that might be good for her at the 4, and a different kind of matchup with faster, longer guards at the 3 is not always advantageous. And so it does create some challenges with rotation and also floor spacing. I mean, the ability to space the floor when you have a downhill driver like Ari that you're missing, and she creates rotation because of that. We have to find other ways to create rotation, and that's difficult when it's kind of a hodgepodge.
Is it harder? Does it take longer to identify when something is or isn't working when that is the case?
I think at times, sometimes it's harder, but sometimes it's not harder. You just don't have the numbers to be able to do anything about it. It's just how do we manipulate our spacing or positioning at that point.
Officially Monday. Yeah, Monday, so it was a pretty quick turnaround.
Take me through the emotions of that day, knowing that this was coming your way and that you'd have a chance to play on a team that might need you to play right away.
Yeah, no, I was super excited. It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had and just, remaining faithful, trusting God and doing the work, and just to see it all come back around and have this opportunity is awesome.
What's this opportunity in the W mean, given all that you've worked to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything, to, again, just remain faithful and trust the process. It speaks to resiliency, it speaks to faith, and I'm really excited to be here.
What's your familiarity, if anything, with this team, with Steph, with how they want to run things?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the W for years. I mean, it's the best basketball in the world, so I've been watching and I've been studying, and to be able to watch it and see it from a professional point of view has just helped the transition, and the girls and the organization have been great in welcoming me here and just getting me up to speed quickly. So I'm really excited to join the team.
How does your game kind of fit in with their system and vice versa?
I mean, I think it fits in perfectly as far as just, running and gunning, getting the ball out quick, pressuring on defense, really bringing intensity and physicality.
So as you're recovering from the ACL injuries that you went through in college, is this the dream, the vision for you coming through that, or did that kind of seem far-fetched?
No, it never seemed far-fetched. I mean, I just, did the work. I trusted the process. Again, staying faithful and trusting that God's timing is perfect, and here we are.
Kelsey talked about culture and character with this team as they welcome all these new players in this season. Your first impressions on day one here, what that means, what that feels like.
I mean, this is a first-class organization. Everybody has been so welcoming, so nice, so kind, and just everybody is here helping each other. Just, the goal is to win. The goal is, to get another championship. So I'm really excited to be here, and I've definitely felt the love getting here, just two nights ago. So.
How do you take in all the information of new plays, new teammates, tendencies, all that in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of the job. You study just like people study in school. You study the playbook, you watch film, you do your due diligence as far as, who you know, knowing your personnel. So, again, just doing the work.
Do you have any familiarity with players on the team now, your new teammates, or is this all everybody new?
It's pretty much new. I mean, I've played against a couple of the players on the team from years ago, but a lot of it's new.
This team has just found some ways on a lot of these nights over the course of the past month to figure this out. So what are you seeing on the good nights that you didn't see Tuesday? What was the difference in that Dallas game?
I think that Dallas is one of those teams where you don't fall asleep, and I think that we kind of we took some gut punches early that you couldn't afford to make up for in the end. I think that anytime you have teams that you have some success against, you keep at it and you don't give up, you don't let your foot off the hook, and I think that you can't allow great players like Paige Beckers, Maddie Seegers to even get comfortable, and I think that's what happened the night before.
What's the tricky part in this back half of the season when you're seeing teams third, fourth time? And
that means
fresh, and you got to make it fresh.
Yeah, that means that second half, like I say, year 8, that literally means that they've adjusted to the initial scout from the first couple of times you played them. that means adjustments happen. You have to make adjustments as players, as a group. We know how long Washington, D.C. is, so you have to make adjustment there to figure out how you can get to the paint. It's just, I think the second half of playing people 2 or 3, 4 times is about finding the right adjustment and making it effective and simple. In order to make a playoff run, you gotta be like that.
Does it feel like twice as much work because you're adjusting a roster too and constantly adjusting this lineup? Or are you kind of finding a pocket with that right now?
I think it's some days are better than others. I think that we do have some new faces around, and so I think the hope is that they bring in and bring a light full of love for us. And so if we can work them in and they want to work with us, and it's a big chill happening. I know some days are tougher than others because we don't practice, but that's what we feel in the gaps as leaders. So has some things that she can say. I have some things that I can say to kind of help mold that, but I think it's about right now taking our good days and make sure they're good, and when they're bad, we learn from them.
Last one from me.
Yeah.
Odyssey coming in here. Another veteran guard coming in. I know she's new, but she's got enough experience.
She got it,
to know what this last month means.
I've been playing against Odyssey ever since I can ever remember. Fantastic guard, fantastic, defensive mindset guard. And so for us, it's about making sure she feels comfortable. But having her here is good for our second half of the season because she knows what winning looks like. She's done it at high level. She's played with the Sparks. She's played with really great teams to know what this is like. And so I don't think it's unfamiliar territory for her.
You guys have added 2 guards since you
Yeah.
lost here in Nary, but you had to play quasi point guard, lead ball handle the role in those 2 games. Steph told us before Tuesday that she doesn't tell you to do anything different. How do you kind of approach it when you are kind of tasked with a little bit more playmaking and being in charge of everybody out there in those lineups?
I think Steph does a good job of not even making it a big deal. I like to think that that's me, the player I am, and who I try to be. I don't make it a big deal. I'm just trying to make the right plays, not think too much into it. And then from there, you still be yourself. I think the confidence that Steph installed in us as a group, it kind of always will be there. And so when we make adjustments, we don't want our confidence to waver. And I think she's giving enough confidence to adjust and make plays the way I see fit.
Day one with Kyra, what do you see from her? What do you like about it?
Oh, I love really great, crafty, quick guards. It's an addition. I love it. I love guards that want to get down and get to the paint. So I told Kyra I welcome her with open arms. She knows the love that we want to show her. And so hopefully we get her comfortable enough to where she goes make plays in the second half of the season.
Not even sure this is a thing, but can you get better at implementing new teammates? You guys have had to do it so much this season.
I think a lot of people, it always goes over a lot of media people's heads because they always ask the superficial questions. But that is why I tell people that character, values, and culture is important. People always want to ask these questions superficially about, hey, so this person's not playing, so what does that mean? It means that you have to make sure your culture, that your values within the organization is sustained and instilled, because when people come in, it's a professional organization, so when people come in, you got to adjust, and I think the best way you could do that is just be a decent human, and make sure that they're worked in and they feel genuine and respected about it.
Is the process, this is one of those superficial questions, but is the process of getting a new point guard acclimated and into the system, is it different than maybe a forward or a different shooting guard or something like that?
I don't know. I think that obviously depends on the personnel of that player that we brought in, whether they're guard, post, or whatever. But I think in this situation, I think the more guards we work in, the better. How you work them in, I think that's a coaching thing. But for players, we can make them comfortable by telling them just to be them, make the plays they see fit. Don't think about it.